This is Pod Populi, podcasts for the people. Hi, everyone. This is Kathy Henry with Living in Santa Barbara. Have you heard his voice with a range that nails those high notes? Brett Hunter left Blake Shelton and Kelly Clarkson stunned when they turned their chairs on The Voice to see who it was. But Brett is more than just a talent. He's full of energy, a natural entertainer, and so much fun to watch. I was really impressed when I saw him at First Thursday on State Street, right in front of Satellite. I'm so excited to have him on the show. Please welcome Brett Hunter, musician, ultimate wedding singer, entrepreneur, and founder of the Riviera Culture Club. What an amazing building to be performing in front of.
Sure. Yeah.
Right?
I mean, State Street is just gorgeous.
Yeah, but especially La Arcada.
Yeah.
And it's a very beautiful block. And Satellite is a great venue.
Mm-hmm. We used to perform on the other side of the street in the beginning.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We started in the middle of COVID and we provided music every Thursday for like 3 years.
Wow.
And then we moved across the street because it was just a better experience.
Yes.
And we also wanted to play for everybody.
Mm-hmm. But then that also made State Street into a dance floor.
Yeah.
A great
My favorite memory of that was the Santa Barbara Mission priest.
Yes, I saw him sometimes. I was like, oh my God, he's here. And he
comes by and he's so joyful.
Yes.
And he is just like, there was this moment where we're just like playing this song and we see the priest on the dance floor and all of these amazing people like Robin from the downtown organization, community members assembled and coming together. It's just so cool. Mm-hmm.
It's everybody. Yeah.
Everybody. We call it our community service.
Uh-huh.
And what's interesting is that when I was a artist, performer up in San Francisco, where I moved here from in 2018, I was playing a lot of clubs and stuff. And what I was really drawn to was performing in the daytime outside. And I was really drawn to Santa Barbara as like, I don't want to play indoors anymore. Mm-hmm. And that's naturally why, we gravitated to that. And it's naturally why I've gravitated to doing weddings, because I want to play outside in beautiful, sunny Santa Barbara.
And it's amazing.
Yeah.
So what was your background? How did you become a musician? And then what made you decide to move to Santa Barbara?
Oh, yeah. I never was musical as a kid. I was sort of a troublemaker. I got sent away to what I call bad boy boarding school.
Oh, yeah?
When I was 17. And it like one of those things where they like kidnap you. And,
in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
They don't tell you what's going on. Okay.
That was the program. I didn't have to get kidnapped. I went willingly. But yeah, I lived in the wilderness for, 6 months. Uh-huh. And I didn't go home for like a year. And I was out at school and in wilderness for like 2.5 years. And so when I was out there.
Did you like it?
I get that question a lot. And it's hard to answer because there's like amazing things that came from it.
But you're also with maybe other troubled kids. Well,
that's true. I think that like the school produced different outcomes. I consider myself like a good outcome of the school. So I enjoyed kind of the way that it felt for me was like starting being an adult sooner. Being away from my family was really actually beneficial for me to decide and make that decision more clearly. Like, who do I want to be? And so when I was living in the wilderness, I taught myself guitar and I started writing music. And it started to be like this really therapeutic thing for me because...
Did they have a guitar on? I mean,
yeah,
it was
in the wilderness.
Okay.
Yeah.
They just lent it to you. Here's
it was just like there. We all lived in yurts. It was just like, in one of the yurts. And I would just, any second that I had, I would go and fiddle with it. Mm-hmm. For me, the first time I fell in love with it, there was this like element of boarding school that everybody has to perform in front of the entire school. Mm-hmm. And they start you off small, like you have to perform in front of your like small group. And I chose to sing a song that was like really meaningful and kind of heartbreaking. And I think that when I was performing, I saw the way that somebody was looking at me. It felt like understanding and it felt like healing. And I was like,
Crazy.
I like this.
Yeah.
I felt okay.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh, wow, it's okay.
It's amazing.
And so I've been addicted to that ever since. My way of connecting with people, connecting with people emotionally, which is super important to me.
Well, I mean, people need to release everything that they're going through. It can be tough.
Yeah, it can be. I ultimately decided to move to San Francisco because there was something about it.
Where were you from? Like originally?
Pasadena.
Okay.
LA area. Yeah. I chose San Francisco because it felt like where I was going to like develop as an artist. I don't know. It just felt like that's where I was going to find myself.
So out of high school, you just decided to be an artist, a musician.
Yeah. When the second that by the way, like the process of me going away, a year later, I was recording my first album and I was an artist.
Yeah.
And I was going to be an artist for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
So it happened very fast. I think a lot of people around me were like, what? Where did this come from? I loved that energy because for me, a big part of my story is kind of me finding acceptance for who I am in that I love attention and turning that into something that was like positive.
Yeah.
And I've been on that mission ever since, like how am I going to honor who I am and make it productive? And so chose San Francisco, studied business because I wanted. That's
important.
Yeah. I was sort of like, I don't really need anybody to tell me how to be an artist.
Yeah.
I don't think that you learn that in school. I think that you find that within yourself. I need somebody to teach me how to be successful at it.
Yeah.
So I studied entrepreneurship and I went for their entrepreneurship program.
Where'd you go to school?
I started at SF State and I graduated from USF.
Okay.
After that, I had kind of a stint in the corporate world in recruiting and being a career coach for people like launching into tech. Ultimately, what I found through helping to create a curriculum of helping people find out what they want to do on the planet was that I realized that I already knew what I wanted to do on the planet, but I kind of wasn't dedicating myself to it. So I dedicated myself to it and quickly found out how hard it is to be an artist. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. So you were there, and what was your goal? Like, what kind of an artist did you want to be? Did you want to be?
I wanted to be like James Taylor reincarnated. I wanted to be.
You wanted to go on tour and sell albums, and
I think in the beginning, yeah. I mean, I think that to be honest with you, everyone around me was pressuring me in that way, and I kind of was like, well, what really fulfills me is sitting in a living room with like 10 people
connecting
who want to hear my song, my story.
Yeah.
That is the most fueling, most filling experience that I've ever had in my life. And so everyone was pushing for this, different thing. In San Francisco, I found an organization called So Far Sounds that does intimate concerts. It was a stark difference between playing a show and inviting my friends out to buy, $15 tickets to come see me. It's like, I can see you whenever I want. You're always playing the guitar. It's kind of, and the difference between that and walking into a room of 30 people that had no idea who I was, the latter was so exhilarating to me. I love connecting with strangers and I love an environment in which people don't have a preconceived notion.
Yes, and that's important.
It feels like you would have you can be anybody. And I think that honestly, that's what's most exciting about being a songwriter and a performer is that I can kind of be who I want to be in the moment.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the reason for this podcast is everybody to kind of break down those barriers of preconceived notions and just get to know people.
Love that. Yeah.
And we need to do this a little bit more often.
Yeah. I mean, I've been really wanting to, since your question was, why did you choose Santa Barbara? Well, I knew that I wanted to not play in clubs, and I know that I wanted to create community, and I knew that I call myself a wedding singer. When people say, what do you do? I say, I'm a wedding singer.
Yeah.
I wanted to play for strangers in beautiful places. And that's why I moved here to Santa Barbara.
Did you know Santa Barbara pretty well?
No.
Had you been here before?
Oh, I played Santa Barbara on tour. I played in the back patio of Sama Sama
Okay.
for a show with Airzy Watt. She put it together, and I was like, okay.
That was your first time in Santa Barbara?
Yeah, and like I'm from LA, but I would never move to LA. Coming from the Bay Area, wanting a change. Felt really natural to like my two greatest contingencies of California to be right in the middle.
Okay, time for a short break.
When you think about businesses that are selling through the roof like Aloe, Allbirds, or Skims, sure, you think about a great product, a cool brand, and brilliant marketing. But an often overlooked secret is actually the businesses behind the business, making selling and for shoppers buying simple. For millions of businesses, that business is Shopify. Nobody does selling better than Shopify, home of the #1 checkout on the planet, and the not-so-secret secret, with Shop Pay that boosts conversions up to 50%, meaning way less carts going abandoned, and way more sales going. So if you're into growing your business, your commerce platform better be ready to sell whenever your customers are scrolling or strolling on the web, in your store, in their feed, and everywhere in between. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout experience as business powerhouses like Aloe, Allbirds, and Skims. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/Odyssey Podcast, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/Odyssey Podcast to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/Odyssey Podcast.
Yeah. Well, and plus it's warmer. It's warmer than the Bay Area.
The weather is great.
And it's
I love
a little easier here, don't you think?
We just came back from our band, Riviera Culture Club, had just came back from a ton of traveling for weddings. We went to Idaho and
they hire
Jackson
you all
Hole.
The way, you go all the way, you travel for your weddings, is not to Santa Barbara?
Yeah.
Wow.
And every time I come back, I'm like, I'm never leaving.
But Jackson Hole is so nice, and Idaho is so nice too.
I mean, okay, Idaho, definitely the highlight of my summer. Jackson Hole was awesome. I was really struck by, I thought Jackson Hole was like my place. Maybe I didn't spend enough time there, but I think that it's like really more of like to explore activities than the town. I felt the town had this culture of,
it's a small town.
I know. There was this culture of like, oh, yeah, you're a tourist.
Yeah.
And I was like,
there's the locals. Cause I mean, it's kind of like,
I think that when I gathered and the story that I heard and was trying to understand was that I think that because of the tourism market, a lot of people were forced out. And
it's a story of everywhere.
Yeah, it's a story of everywhere.
It is really.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so, I mean, you have a great voice. Did you know before you went to the boarding school that you had a great voice?
No, I never sang.
You
anything.
Never sang until that moment?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Here's what I know about my voice is that when I was a kid, I really enjoyed making funny voices.
Okay.
And like prank calls. And I had an interesting vocal register when...
You have to do one.
Oh,
give us a prank call.
Oh my God. You're really bringing me back. I don't know if I can. The thing that I always was wanting to get attention and making weird noises and making my voice sound interesting and mimicking and imitating things.
Yeah.
And I've kind of, when I was younger, I would answer the phone and people would think I was a woman, like before I hit puberty.
Okay.
And I remember being really upset about that. Oh man. But like, I think my vocal register was like a little bit more, well, interestingly enough, is like now people will hear me on State Street and they'll come over and they'll be like, oh my God, I thought it was a woman. And I love that.
When you sing, sometimes, you can do it all.
I love it when I love the vocal character of kind of being androgynous and like not knowing.
Yes.
Like Tracy Chapman kind of has the same thing, right? Where you're like, whoa, this is an interesting vocal. I like can't even tell if it's a man or a woman.
Yeah.
So I've gotten over caring that people think that I sound like a woman. And I really love that quality.
Yeah. Obviously you're a people person and that's why you're doing this.
Yeah.
Do you want to do anything beyond the wedding singing now? Has anybody approached you to say, hey, I'd like to sign you?
Oh my God.
And are you writing your own songs?
Yeah, I am. Okay, my answer usually is like, no.
Okay.
I was explaining like I love intimate performance and that's what fills me the most. So I never really have had any aspirations of getting signed. That's the...
Yeah. It's more about other people, I think.
It's like that doesn't matter at all. I think for me, I'm trying to start my own label. You know, what I'm really interested in is experience and in creating more businesses that really like support that. I want to create a support system for all artists to find sustainable careers. Kind of what my mission feels like is that every kid growing up who wants to be a rock star only has like one concept of what success looks like. And that is like selling out arenas. I want to be somebody that is an example of success in a different way. So it's like, what does that look like? And what does that feel like? And I want to create as many artists to find sustainability in their career. And that kind of means like building up all of these like businesses and infrastructure that support it. So that's what I'm most interested about. But I do have a little dream that has been peeking out, and which is becoming a country superstar.
Okay.
Is something that I have been dreaming a little bit
music?
Lately.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been writing more country music. I mean, I love performing soul music, but I also have this secret desire to be like an international country star sensation.
Well, are you working on your album?
Yeah, I'm working on my next album, which in the interim I'm calling Sad Cowboy.
Okay.
And I've just been like obsessed with melancholy country. I've been really wanting to create kind of a collection about that. But then also I've been dreaming about, for the first time, I've been dreaming about maybe having some
just on the side
moments,
something.
You know?
Yeah, just adding to it.
You know, I always think that people's perception of me is that I want to be the guy on the stage. These days, I've been really driven by wanting to create the stage.
Yeah.
And having a ton of satisfaction seeing somebody else shine on that stage and putting all of those pieces together. That has brought me a lot of fulfillment. You know, when you're the guy in the middle on stage, there's always like another voice behind you being like, what are they thinking? And
really?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I think that because I think very critically, that like my perception is that other people are doing the same, but usually I'm fine.
You don't come off that way.
Critical?
No, not at all.
Oh, yeah. I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's always very interesting because people are like, oh my God, you're not that way. I am.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, maybe you want everything to be the best it can be.
100%. I'm obsessed with that.
That's what it is.
Yeah. I'm never satisfied.
It's just, I'm the same way.
Yeah. I've already come to the peace with that. I will never be. I wrote a song about it. It's called Find Peace. It's actually one of my favorite songs that I've written. It's kind of about how I have thought about the moment that I'll decide to find peace as if it was like a destination. Like maybe I'll reach the town. Maybe I'll move to Santa Barbara and I'll find peace. And then I moved here and I'm like, nope. I mean, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
I'm never satisfied. And so like retraining my brain that's like something that you can tap into today in a moment rather than, oh, I found it.
Yeah. Exactly.
I have peace forever.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's, have you released any songs? So if people want to listen to one of your originals?
Yeah.
Is it on Spotify?
Brett Hunter on Spotify.
Yeah, you can find all that stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's talk about the Riviera Culture Club.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's like kind of getting back into this idea of supporting sustainable artistry. You know, most artists, most performers have day jobs. And you know what I find interesting about being a performer and being an artist? That there is no other career where the goal is surviving.
Is it that bad?
No, I'm just saying that like it's such a pursuit of the heart that ask any performer about like what they would really want. And they're just, I just would love to just be able to do music and that's it. And just like make enough money to live.
Yeah.
That is what everyone's shooting for. What other career has that? I just want to, I don't know, what's an example of a career?
Artist.
Yeah, I mean, but other than artists, like if you look at any other, I just want to be in finance and just thrive.
Yeah.
And so, I found that one of my talents is like kind of, I'm an opportunist. So seeking opportunity is something that I've always been good at. and drawn to.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to use that to support an ecosystem of artists.
Yeah.
And so Riviera Culture Club is, sometimes I say it's our band, sometimes it's our collective. Both of those things are true because, I mean, on State Street, everyone would come up and they would say, "What's the band?"
Uh-huh.
And sometimes we'd be like, "This is a new configuration that we've never played with these people before."
Yeah.
So it's like, how do you call that a band?
Yeah.
You know, how does that work? Yeah, we started a studio across the street from the Dump on Quarantina. It's like in between like East Beach and the Funk Zone. It's in the funkier zone.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
There's some amazing musicians in town.
Yeah. You know, what a surprising level of talent per capita.
Yes.
I would say.
Sure.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I wanted to approach differently in terms of our studio is I wanted to focus on video content.
Oh, yeah.
Because I thought that was the biggest thing that I noticed in, you know, playing private gigs and getting hired by clients who don't know us, is that the experience, like if you've seen a show, you know, but if you haven't, it's so hard to communicate. Mm-hmm. So we made a sound studio and video studio all in one to try to bring people in. And we basically have artists that can kind of come in and create advertisement for free under our portfolio. That way, when we're getting all of these clients, we can kind of build a unique musical offering and support the sound throughout. If you're an artist, you will know that what makes you anxious during a gig has nothing to do with performing. It has everything to do with running sound. Mm-hmm. Do I have everything? Oh, yeah. What if I forgot the chord? Whatever. And so we want to support musicians in that way. Mm-hmm. And we want to support them from an operational perspective. And we also want to support them from creating a system where they can focus on what they really want to do, which is play. Yeah. Not negotiate and send contracts, not set up sound and run speaker cable, but play. And so we try to kind of streamline that opportunity.
How long have you been doing this?
This meaning...
The Riviera Culture Club.
Well, I mean, that's just been the new name of it, I suppose. But I suppose ever since 2016, I've been doing private events for clients and booking friends. We started the studio in 2021 where we were like, let's invite people in and give them this really valuable experience, which is kind of helping them with marketing their services. And so, yeah, doing that since 2021.
A lot of people coming in?
We've just been like, it's been so busy. We wish we had more time to bring more people in. We get a lot of messages from people being like, hey, I want to be a part of this. And we wish that we had the time to do all of that. Mm-hmm. But we've been working on a lot of projects.
We'll be right back after this quick break.
When you think about businesses that are selling through the roof like Aloe, Allbirds, or Skims, sure, you think about a great product, a cool brand, and brilliant marketing. But an often overlooked secret is actually the businesses behind the business, making selling and, for shoppers, buying simple. For millions of businesses, that business is Shopify. Nobody does selling better than Shopify, home of the #1 checkout on the planet, and the not-so-secret secret, with Shop Pay that boosts conversions up to 50%, meaning way less carts going abandoned, and way more sales going. So if you're into growing your business, your commerce platform better be ready to sell whenever your customers are scrolling or strolling on the web, in your store, in their feed, and everywhere in between. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout experience as business powerhouses like Aloe, Allbirds, and Skims. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/Odyssey Podcast, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/Odyssey Podcast to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/Odyssey Podcast.
Yeah, you got all kinds of projects. So you're telling me about the Experience project that you started up in San Francisco.
I was explaining to the element of why I wanted to move to Santa Barbara. After doing a lot of So Far Sounds, I had been a part of some of the first Airbnb experiences, which were very...
You said 2016, so that was a while ago.
Yeah. I think it was 2016. It could have been 15. It could have been 17.
Okay.
But there was, but I remember going into Airbnb and meeting the experience team. It was like 10 people. I met Brian who invited me in because Brian Chesney, I met him at one of the Airbnb experiences. I had played the Big Mac song, which is a song that I wrote as a Big Mac commercial. It's really funny.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Okay.
Yeah. And he came up to me after the show and he said, the Big Mac song is one of the greatest songs written in the past 100 years.
I gotta hear it.
And I was like, can I put that on my website? And he was like, yeah.
Did you know who he was when he came up?
Yeah.
Okay. He's the CEO of Airbnb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think maybe I kind of played it like I didn't know, but I knew. Yeah. And I mean, this was when I met him, this was kind of his new project where he was building this new vertical. And I thought it was so great because I was always gravitating to these like intimate, soulful experiences. That's what people want when they're like traveling to a new place. Mm-hmm. They don't want a bike tour. Mm-hmm. They want to be on a bike next to the right person. Yeah. You know, it's more about the person than anything else. And I'm a collector of personalities. That's what the collective is. That's everything that I do. Like I want to really connect, and I've been kind of wanting to provide that to people that visit here too. Mm-hmm. And so when I was a part of those first early experiences, what I realized was there was a really strong business model attached to creating experience, especially from what I was interested in. I was interested in real estate. I was interested in songwriting. I was like, well, that's kind of like what this is all about. Mm-hmm. Plus, food and drinks and stuff. I was like, what makes an experience? And I sort of came to this idea where it's like, it's really the combination of like three things, and they can be any three things. A show is one thing. A show, you get invited to a show. Hey, we're going to go see Brett Hunter. The first question that you hear, who's Brett Hunter? If you don't know who it is, you're not interested because you don't know what that means.
You have to come up with some crazy stage name.
Right. And we have this experience that I've been like wanting to launch for a really long time called Songs by the Glass. You hear Songs by the Glass, you don't need to know who's playing. You know if you're interested.
Yeah.
Because you can tell what it is.
Exactly.
And so that's what experience was and is. I got obsessed with that. But kind of everybody in San Francisco, there's so much of that.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, I want to find a place that needs this. Mm-hmm. When I came to Santa Barbara on tour, I fell in love with it. Yeah, I can do it here. Mm-hmm. I had a wedding, and I had planned to move here to sync up with this wedding. And I played the Ojai Valley Inn, and I met Erica and Jamie Costeco from Wild Heart Events. And it was kind of like an amazing transition to Santa Barbara because I just moved here today, and here I am.
You came by yourself? Or
at the time, I came down with my girlfriend at the time.
Okay.
And one of the first projects that we worked on was, and she is still doing Santa Barbara Beach Yoga, which is what it's called today. And it's been really successful for her. It's been fun to like watch her grow that and put in a ton of hard work. It was successful on the Airbnb experiences over the years. Credit to her for that. Yeah. So I wanted to move to a new city that really kind of needed more of that. One of the projects that happened when I first came down here was our new opportunity of launching a beach club. When I first came down, I saw that there was that concession at East Beach, and I was like, no one's ever there. There's sup boards out there, and there's just no one out there. And so,
what concession? I'm trying to think.
It was called East Beach Rentals.
Okay.
And so I had followed it for a really long time, and we had just signed a lease with the city to operate shade rentals down there.
Yeah.
For people who visit.
Okay.
Umbrellas and chairs.
Yeah.
Our plan is to kind of have a European inspired beach club, really connect other small businesses into the opportunity. It's hard to make it sustainable to have somebody down there renting shade for people when they come to visit. And so we're looking to make a lot of connections with hotels and offer that to guests. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we also hope to point people in the direction of these locals that are doing amazing things, like Emma, who's doing Santa Barbara Beach Yoga, 805 Beach, who's doing some beach exercises right now, Satellite, who we work with.
Yeah.
We're not really allowed, there's not really an opportunity to provide food. Right now we reached out to Reunion, and we'd love to kind of do something with Reunion. They're close. Yeah. And I think they have a small footprint, and we want to work with them on doing that. So if anybody knows the contact there, we'd love to get put in touch. But yeah, experience. I mean, the beautiful thing that I love about Santa Barbara is I've never seen a place in my life that has so many public areas for experience.
Yeah.
I mean, you just walk down the street and you're like, whoa, there's a amphitheater right there. Yeah. And oh, what's that building over there? Oh, you can rent that. It's the most beautiful place. And there's so many public amenities that I can't wait to build more experience in them. And I want to not only just do it myself, but I really want to build a system and an environment for other hosts who want to throw experience. My goal eventually is to create an incredible calendar for the city of Santa Barbara for amazing experiences.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're here then.
Yeah. Me too. Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah. So is there anything else that I don't know about that we should talk about? Because you've got so many interesting...
Don't ask me that question. That's a dangerous question to ask me. No, we have lots of different projects.
Well, I was also thinking that Santa Barbara the music scene is growing here. I mean, there's so many different events to attend on a weekend or on any given day that I can kind of see it becoming more like a little Nashville. Is that how you see it?
People have always said to me, you should move to Nashville. And I say, no, there's 4 of me in Nashville. I want to be 101. I think Santa Barbara's a little different. I definitely think that it has a strong talent base, for sure, but not as strong as a live performance as Nashville, obviously. But I mean,
we have so many venues, though. We have so many venues that.
Oh, you mean theaters and stuff like that?
Or just even, you can be playing over at, I don't know, Satellite, and there's another venue at Red Piano, and there's another venue at the Libero, and there's so many places.
Yeah, we've been working, Satellite, and we've been collaborating with Satellite on launching the Factory on Haley. So that's an event venue that kind of
great. A live music venue. We need that.
It's kind of like an experience venue, I guess. It's not like there's live music, 7 days a week or anything like that. Yeah. It's kind of an environment with a commercial kitchen, an amazing space, and amenities to throw experiences that people can come in and rent the space and throw an elevated event in a really expedited way. They can book and plan it fast and not spend an arm and a leg to create a really wonderful elevated experience.
And I was going to ask you, how much does it take?
We do day of use pricing. So it's $1,500 Monday through Thursday to rent for the day. It's $2,500 on Fridays and Sundays, and it's $3,000 on Saturdays to rent the whole venue. It's 4,500 square feet of outdoor patio, beautiful urban garden space.
And plates?
We have tables and chairs and flatware for 50 people. And then for people wanting to do larger things, we do have rental companies that offer the additional tables and chairs and settings needed for the larger event. We do a lot of 100-person weddings. We do a lot of 60-person weddings. And then we do a lot of 200-300-person, not sit-down dinner, but parties.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Satellite's running at the Factory. They're running this commercial kitchen. And so, it's almost complete. It's almost done.
That's amazing. And then let's say I want to have a little party and have you guys come and do a little Airbnb experience. What does that cost? And how many people? I guess it depends, but is it just you?
Oh, you mean for food and drink?
Whatever your little experience that you used to do. What? Oh, you still do that?
Well, so I'm kind of working on the infrastructure to provide that.
Okay.
So for me, it's sort of I could do that, and it would take a lot of work to do one of them. But what I'm trying to do is set up the environment where we can provide regular experiences. I mean, I guess stay tuned, because I really want to do stuff like that. Songs by the Glass is something that I hope to bring to the Factory, which is kind of intimate and you don't really need to know who's there. But I guess my idea of one experience that Songs by the Glass that I want to do is that to really be connected to different winemakers who are telling a story about how they made the wine. And then when you're sipping on this wine,
that's so amazing.
You're also, getting connected to the songwriters and why they wrote that song. And it just feels like such an intimate, soulful experience that I want to create. Every part of your senses, your smell, your taste, your hearing, and what you're watching. It's just like, it feels really immersive to me. And it's something that I've been excited about since I moved here. So for like 6 or 7 years.
Yeah. Wow. You got a lot of patience.
I do. I'm a long-term thinker.
Yeah.
I like thinking about the future.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
Yeah,
I think
thanks
you're
for
making it a positive, fun future ahead for Santa Barbara with the factory and everything else that's going on.
Yeah. That's what I want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how do they find out more about Brett Hunter and the Riviera Culture Club and whatever you're...
Honestly, everything that I talked about, booksantabarbara.com.
Okay.
Booksantabarbara.com is our home site where, you can, with Riviera Culture Club, you can book sound, talent. You can book the factory on booksantabarbara.com. Soon to come, the beach club, you can book on booksantabarbara.com. Yeah. And more we're adding every day. Yeah. We're our little dealership that is launching in the Funk Zone will be on there soon. So
okay, great. And then also to watch you perform, is it every
So we're doing every first Thursday, but we're providing music every week.
Okay.
So you can come see live music. We're going to do like half of our Thursdays are going to be, we're starting to do some DJs. Mm-hmm. And then the other half are going to be bands. I think that Will Bremen has been doing it for a while, and he's doing one day a month. And then I'm going to do one day a month. We usually do first Thursday. Mm-hmm. So I think the next one is like November 7th or something like that. Mm-hmm. I don't know what the first in November, but we'll be there.
Right after the election.
Yeah, exactly.
You got to write a song about that.
Ooh, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
It was fun.
Yeah.
Okay. Good to hear about everything.
Yeah. Thanks.